A lot has happened since we last spoke. Israel forced me to take down my Charlotte Kirk video. Plus, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. And William Shatner shat on himself. All right, guys, lots to get into. I'm going to jump right into the news, get you guys caught up on everything that's been going on. Ted Cruz backing in news. He teed off on some students. They asked him some pretty straightforward questions on our relationship with that country over there, the one that made me take down that Charlotte Kirk video. And here's how he responded to one of those reasonable questions.
There are pastors who love Israel who think all is fine, and my message to them is go and talk to the teenagers in your congregation because they're picking up their phone and they're watching TikTok and they're hearing this message being driven. This poison is spreading. Several weeks ago, J.D. Vance was down at Ole Miss at a Turning Point gathering, and one kid got up and asked this viciously anti-Semitic question. What happened in the second later? The crowd erupted in applause. My guess is 20 to 30% of the kids there were applauding the viciously anti-Semitic question. A week or two later, there was another event with Eric and Laura Trump at Auburn University. A kid got up and asked such an anti-Semitic question, it was filled with lies. Every word of the question was a lie, including and, but, and the.
And but are known as coordinating conjunctions. The word the is what is known as a definitive article. I asked AI if either of those could ever be lies, and AI said, is this about Ted Cruz? Anyway, he lied about those things being lies. Imagine that. Why did I choose to portray Ted Cruz as a rat? Well, I mean, you have to admit he does have some rat-like features. I gave him that red bandana because, as you probably know, his real name is Rafael Cruz. He's from Cuba, and I'm pretty sure he's related to that one dude that used to run DHS, Alejandro Mayorkas. Anyway, I just immediately thought, Ninja Turtles, because they saw Ted Cruz coming out of that sewer there at one time. Plus the name. It all just fits, doesn't it? And speaking of rat face power hungry psychopaths, take a listen to former Obama speechwriter Sarah Hurwitz and her nuanced view on Holocaust curricula.
I think, unfortunately, the very smart, bet that we made on Holocaust education to serve as anti-Semitism education, in this new media environment, I think that is beginning to break down a little bit. But I think it may be confusing some of our young people about anti-Semitism because they learn about big, strong Nazis hurting weak, emaciated Jews. And they think, oh, anti-Semitism is like anti-black racism, right? So when on TikTok all day long they see powerful Israelis hurting weak, skinny Palestinians, it's not surprising that they think, oh, I know, the lesson of the Holocaust is you fight Israel. You fight the big, powerful people hurting the weak people.
Call me crazy, but that's what I got out of my trip to the Holocaust Museum, that you're not supposed to genocide people. But it turns out the actual lesson was to never question its victims. In other crazy woman news, Marjorie Taylor Greene has decided to call it quits and is resigning from Congress in the spring. Although she blamed other things, many have speculated she was threatened by Trump and are even claiming he confirmed the threat when asked about Taylor Greene's exit by a reporter. Take a listen.
I said, go your own way, and once I left her, she resigned because she would never have survived the primary.
Never would have survived the primary. Never would have survived. Interesting choice of words there. But at least they didn't drop her sex tape like they did with Madison Cawthorn. Speaking of disgusting sexual behavior, everyone is asking which Indian wife will get divorced first. Will it be Jasleen Singh, who has been humiliating her husband all over the internet recently? Or will it be Usha Vance, who was recently seen multiple times not wearing her wedding ring? This comes after the recent viral stories of J.D. Vance supposedly trying to get his wife to switch religions, and also the rumors of a secret romance between J.D. and Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow, which started to swirl after this seemingly sexually charged photo was taken at a recent TPUSA event. Anonymous sources within the organization say that the two secret lovers have plans to marry and that JD will be taking Erica's last name, changing his name for the 5th time, and becoming JD Kirk. Vance reminds me a bit of Humpty Dumpty, and so I wanted to share this story out of Jersey Shore. An iconic Humpty Dumpty statue needs to be put back together again after 2 men were caught on camera, as one of them stole the character from a golf course at the Jersey Shore. This is pretty tame compared to what me and Sam used to get into. Both suspects are still at large. Breaking news. In response to the online gossip, Usha Vance has made a public statement about her wedding ring. She claims that her ring was lost during a recent religious ceremony. Many online pundits are now speculating that she attended the recent Indian poop-throwing festival known as Go Re Haba. So there you have it, folks. There's no problems with their marriage. She just lost her ring at the poop festival. Speaking of stinky celebrations, an 18-month age Gruyere was selected as world's best at last month's World Cheese Awards. Attendees described the event as sensory overload, with smells ranging from stinky socks to wet dog. And finally, it was a stinky weekend all around, as William Shatner told a small group of fans that he once pooped on stage during a Broadway show.
Opening night on Broadway, I cracked my pants, okay? So...
I thought this was newsworthy because shat is the past tense of shit. And it's in his name, and he's telling a story from his past about shitting. Pretty cool. One last thing. Sam's been bugging me to cover art, and I haven't really had a chance to do that because there aren't a lot of art stories. But PlayStation just put out some really creative billboards, which I wanted to share with you guys. This one is like a booster, and you can see they've drawn a racetrack onto the wall there. Not sure what game this is supposed to be. Up next, it looks like someone has parachuted through this billboard, and they're probably dead. And finally, this one looks like some lizard or crashed through the side of this building. Probably a baby Godzilla or something. Pretty cool. All right, guys, that's all this episode. I promise to start doing these on a more regular basis, shooting for every week. We'll see how it goes. In the meantime, send me Bitcoin at this address. Text 3 of your friends about the show. Like, subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll see you next week with some more fake bullshit.